With just 3 days until the final vote, the French presidential race is tightening up. Centrist candidate Emmanuel Macron holds the lead with just under 60%, and far-right candidate Marine Le Pen has a solid 40%.
Right. He was hoping I could someday say those things like you just did, Steve. But in the last 2 weeks, Le Pen has been closing the gap on the favored-to-win candidate. So, could we be seeing the Trump effect happening in France? Here to weigh in is author and journalist Mark Steyn. Mark, who do we root for in this from the American perspective?
Well, I'm rooting for Marine Le Pen because Macron is just like a completely hollow suit. He's independent. He's not independent. He's like the sock puppet of the failed Euro establishment. What I find is, I was listening to Hillary whining a couple of days ago about why she lost. And if you think back just 6 months or whatever it was, everyone was saying, oh, well, if you're a woman, it's time for a woman. We need a woman president. We've got to have a woman. No one is saying that at all about Marine Le Pen. No French feminists or European feminists say it's time for a woman to lead France. She's just been demonized by the entire...
Is she more of the Donald Trump? I mean, I'm looking at the headlines this morning. Macron is attacking the people like Hillary. Remember, she said deplorable, irredeemable, she called the voters. He's calling millions of Le Pen voters true enemies, hateful and cowardly.
Right, right, and they're basically the same people, and they're in the sense that they want France to be French. They don't want their jobs outsourced to the other side of the planet. They don't want the crowd who all meet in Davos and decide what's best for the unwashed masses. And in that sense, Le Pen is part of the same thing as Brexit and the Trump thing.
She had a great line in the debate. She said, "The country will be led by a woman, me or Mrs. Merkel," which is brilliant. It's a brilliant idea because do you want to be ruled by us or outsiders?
Yeah, and that's really the choice. I mean, in Europe, basically all the big decisions now are made in Brussels, which means that as the most powerful leader on the continent is Germany, that means Angela Merkel.
And what is the EU's agenda ultimately?
Well, the EU is basically a 1970s solution to a 1940s problem. I mean, basically, it's a big statist, bloatist. They got regulations on the curvature of bananas. They've got. I don't know whether you could even say this, but I'm going to go full Stephen Colbert. There's apparently regulations on the size of a Euro condom, so that if you're, whether you're a well-endowed Norwegian or a slightly sheepish Greek.
Yeah, we might want to. Yeah, let's not go there. But or have actually just been. But here's the thing: they're worried about what you said, the 1940s problem. They're worried about nationalism, which sprung up hundreds of years of war.
Right.
But we probably passed that. Now, what about those who listen and say Le Pen is like her dad, and Le Pen has gotten money from the Russians and flat out millions of dollars to finance this campaign?
Yeah, I mean, but that's basically the French finance ministry, which is behind Macron, is actually leaking all this damaging one-way stuff about Le Pen. And that's, again, the way the organs of the state are basically, as they did here, the media and the bureaucracy are ganging up on the insurgent candidate here.
All right. Well, we'll know in 3 days. Mark Steyn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If Mark Steyn could vote, it would be for Le Pen.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Mark.